Hey, shalom, you guys. This is the Kingdom of Israel. Our big purpose is to bring together the 12 tribes of Israel as we go from a online community to a on-land community. The links will be in the description. So let's get into it. So, basically, as we all can see that, there's a dark future ahead, man. It's the way the world is going, it looks like it's going to collapse. The way just most people, they don't really value ethics or people's faith, and their morals and principles are really pretty bad right now. And with that, things being like that, it's from what I see, it's the cause of what's the trouble in the world, why there's so much pain and suffering, and every man is ready to backstab the next man. It's a more and more dog eat dog kind of world, which that's the way of the world. That's the way that's the life, this reality. That's what it is. It's a dog eat dog world. But when coming back to faith and your principles, at least it puts the world in order. It makes the world like it makes the world go round. It brings order to society. And doing with focus, the primary focus being on faith and principles instead of materialism, it'll bring a from what I see and what basically for the most part what the scriptures say, it'll bring about a better world, a more so of like unto a utopia for the planet, when we come back to God's law. And since for the most part most of society isn't doing that, especially America has lost its values, I guess, if you could say it ever had any, because it was built on native Indian blood. But I know there's people who say, well, all countries and nations were built on blood. Not all of them. But it's just because some nation was built on your blood doesn't mean you should give up and spit in the face of your own ancestors. That doesn't, just because that happens to countries and nations, that don't mean you should just lie down and go with it. So so as I was saying, there's a societal collapse. And with that, what's coming up ahead, this gender war, the male and female can't get along, and the banks, they're about to collapse, so they, I guess they're going to hit the Great Reset, and we're going to take on a new currency, or I doubt they would go back to fiat currency, where real money. I doubt they would go to real money. I think they're just going to keep using their fiat currency, which isn't money at all. It's a IOU note. So, and then we have, we have World War III, which is on the way as well. I believe that's what's going to really set things off. Probably the financial collapse, is because right now the gender war is really what's, kind of destroying men a whole lot. Men finding it real hard to find an an incentive to be productive. This place has basically drained all the fuel for a man to be a man, and it's pretty sad, man. It's very disheartening that this is the world we live in, a very a man-hating world, a world that hates masculinity. When masculinity and men put it all together, to technology, everything. It's very crazy. So we're in a very an era of chaos is exactly what's going on right now. A very confusing time. People are very confused, confused on their gender, what their nationality is, their identity, and their gender. It's crazy. It's getting too out of hand. So where, in all these things going out of hand, where exactly do we fall in as a people? Where do, Black people, Native Indians, Hispanics, where do the 12 tribes fall in? Because we got to do something. There's got to be somewhere for us to go. Not everybody, not all of us agree with America and its system and its oppressive ways it's used to put itself on a financial pedestal. It's used our labor to build itself up and to continue to oppress us with its constant government funding of different like COINTELPRO, different government programs that are funded to keep us at a certain level. Maybe not in your individual life, you have opportunities to get ahead and things like that, but I'm saying as a people, there have been government programs that have been used and funded to keep you oppressed. So, maybe in your individual life, you don't have shackles on you and things like that. But as a people, you've been shackled by legal work, okay, by legislation, all right? So I know, some people say, I've never been oppressed. Well, that's not what I'm really talking about. I'm not talking about you as an individual, even though there's still a lot of us that, run into racist situations or maybe oppressive situations. I'm not talking about you in your particular life. I'm talking about as a whole, as a people, and so, where are we going to go with things being, the robots are now taking over jobs. So that's because automation, that's what things are heading into, that a robot will have your job, as a cashier or at the checkout line or whatever, your job will be automated. And they plan to really do this, especially, I think the last article I seen, it was by 2040, things will, be, a lot of things will be automated. And, with that, if a robot, because most Black people, most of our people are kind of in retail, and, these jobs that are actually being, that are going to be replaced are going to, that most Blacks and Hispanics occupy are going to be replaced by automation. So where does that leave you? I mean, if you're going to be if you're at the bottom and you're going to be replaced by a robot that's that's going to replace you and your means to secure financial prosperity or whatever, you know, that's going to knock you out the job market. And then since most jobs are already outsourced, America outsources most of its jobs to China or Taiwan and Thailand. So where does that leave us as a people, huh? It leaves you even further down the totem pole. It leaves you so far down there. We'd have to come together overnight almost to rewind all this stuff. It's gonna be interesting. The times that's coming up, some tough next few years, but it's going to be very interesting. Like just in the sense that by 2030 and the technology is just going to be so wild. And even though that's only a few years from now, technology is really supposed to speed up the singularity thing. And then by 2040 you have to be really thinking like, there's not going to be I think Medicare, and you won't have a paycheck coming in because you're old. They, from what a Social Security, from what I heard, all that's getting, done with. All that's getting canceled. So, as a people, what can we do? If our options is that, basically the robots are gonna automate our jobs, then most of the jobs that aren't automated are going to probably be outsourced. So, and just this is how I see the picture. I see it that this everybody's becoming an entrepreneur, and in things being like that, because now it's more so turning towards the individual to create content creator and create some kind of income. Like I said, everybody's being like their own kind of individual entrepreneur. That seems like that's the way to get money, since nothing wrong with 9 to 5s. It's just that as I stated before, the automation, the robots, and a lot of jobs are being outsourced anyway. And just thinking about the whole grand scheme of things, so I think it's really gonna, that the whole entrepreneur thing, it's really gonna be turned, inwardly towards, each other as a people. I think it's going to really, just as the saying goes, if you, what's that saying? If you know somebody, it's easier to get a job if you know somebody, instead of so much on the you fit the qualifications for the job. It's because you know somebody, that's how you got the job. So I think that's where it's kind of gonna lead to, that if you're black, you're gonna have to look out for black. If you're Israelite, you're gonna have to look out for Israelite, because just the way of the world is, and as a people, we don't really put back into each other. We put back into other communities and other nations. We don't really do too much for each other. But I think because of the sign of the times and the way things are going, I think there's going to be an emphasis on putting back into your own. Just because of where I see how everything is going, really, it just seems, though everything's becoming more individualistic, that it kind of makes being collective or community minded that much more valuable. So that's what I see. So that as far as being a solution on wanting to do in really escaping slavery, because that's basically what we're trying to really escape, trying the jurisdiction of another government. You want to be up under your own government. Somebody who's just like you, who has the same goals. America doesn't have the same purpose and goals for you. America's purpose is to serve white America. Its purpose for you is for you to never value anything, ethics or faith or principles, or, if they're going to go that route, they're going to have to control it, which means if you're going to be about faith and principles, you're going to have to be a Christian, which will make you passive and very conservative, and you'll never fight back. You'll never try to get something of your own. You'll never be able to stand on your own 2 feet. So that's, from what I see, that's how things play into. You got to be who you were made to be. You know what I'm saying? In escaping slavery, that's the only way out. You have to be something different from what you were before. Slavery, how you got into slavery is a totally different being from someone that is getting out of it. Going in and getting out, there's them 2 different people that make that shift. So, it's the turn is going to have to be towards your own in separating yourself from the ways of America. It is going to have to be a turn towards your own people, and a focus on that and valuing what the Lord gave us, and for the most part, that's His laws and that's each other. Them the 2 most. I mean, you can do that. You know what I'm saying? That's you know what I'm saying. That's basically what it boiled down to. That's the foundation, basically. That's all you really got anyway. You got God and you got your family. We got the God of Israel, the laws, His word, and we got each other. That's what's going to save each other. Each other is going to save each other. It's everybody knows this except us. We have a hard time, supporting each other, especially when it comes to monetary gains. So, it's a simple, I didn't say it was easy, but it's a simple but very, hard decision for a lot of us to really want to take that step and create an actual community. It's a big step because there's a lot fighting us. It's really an uphill battle just to be you. Just in becoming a people, it's an uphill battle for you specifically. Black, Hispanic, Native Indian, man. It's that difficult for you. Maybe not for other people and other people across the world and other groups. It's not that hard for them, but for you, it's going to be that hard because and really it's really a fight to be you. That's what everybody's fighting for. They're fighting for your land. They're fighting for your culture. They're fighting to be you because everybody wants to be loved by the God of Israel. Everybody. So everybody's just really fighting to be you. And you're fighting to be other people. You want to be a Christian. You want to be a Muslim. You want to be a Buddhist and all this other stuff. And it's not even who you are. That's how you that's how you tell the world is so backwards. The people who should be on top are fighting to be at the bottom. That's why you want to be white and a Christian and all these other things. That's the opposite of being an Israelite. But all these other nations, they fighting to be you. They trying to get your land. They want your culture, the shield of David. They want everything you got because there's a lot of power in being you. It's just, everybody understands that, accepts you. And, that's the way it is, man. You're going to have to separate yourself and, separate from the world, separate from the cultures and ways of this world. If we're to come back, if you are actually willing to take that step and put on your faith and your armor of God, you'd have to separate from the ways of the world, stop celebrating birthdays and Christmas, all these, holidays, Valentine's Day, all this stuff. You'd have to stop doing it. And you'd have to turn back and repent and be Israel. Be who you were born to be. You don't have to be like anybody else. You just need to be born the way you was, born to be. Be you. Be Israel. So with that, you guys, I hope you enjoy my speech. Hope you enjoy all my speeches. And check out my latest class on church or community, where I talk about, and what I'm doing. Is it a church or is it a community? And I really break that down with the scriptures. I even tell you why I named it the Kingdom of Israel, using scripture, so you guys check that class out. And, with that, this is the Kingdom of Israel. Our big purpose is to bring together the 12 tribes of Israel as we make our way from an online community to an on-land community. The links are in the description. And you guys have a good one, man. Shalom.